Hosting a party or holiday can be a really overwhelming task to undertake. How can you make sure that you're being a classy host this Thanksgiving? Let's start with setting the scene. You're going to want to spend most of the month getting your space ready to have a lot of visitors in it. Use this time as motivation to really get all of those projects done that you've been meaning to get some of the deep cleaning that you've been putting off done as well. One thing to start thinking about right away is setting up your home to be successful. What I mean by this is making sure that anything that your visitors may need is pretty obvious to them. The less questions that you have to raise throughout the day will make it a lot easier for you to do the important things like the turkey. One of the ways that you can make it really easy for your visitors is to set up a drink station. I know that when I go to somebody else's house, I don't know whether the tap water is good for drinking or if they would rather if I used bottled water. Setting up all of the beverages that are available for your visitors to consume while they're there in one neat and concise area will make it a lot easier so that nobody's asking you,
where's the water?
The other thing that you can do is make it really obvious where and what the entertainment is. If you and your family love to sing karaoke, have everything pulled out and plugged in and ready to go with the TV on to the right setting. If you're planning for your family to play a board game, have about 3 of them out for everybody to choose from. Having too many choices can make it take too long to decide what's going to be best. If your guests are bringing food, have a spot where they can put their food down when they walk in. This can kind of look like a buffet bar as they're walking into the house, in the kitchen or the dining room or whatever space you're entertaining in. That way, again, they don't have to ask you where you want them to put things. They can just see that that's where it should go. If you have guests that are bringing cold dishes, have some platters out that have ice in it already so that they can put them in there and they'll stay cool for the whole event. All of these steps will make everything really comfortable and clear for your guests and make your job as a host a lot easier. If you're enjoying this video so far, like and subscribe. When it comes to what you're preparing, try to stick to tried and true recipes. If you're new to cooking, then spend this month really practicing those skills and practicing the dishes that you want to serve. One of the more frustrating things that can happen when you're hosting is that a meal doesn't turn out how it's supposed to or how you intended it to. So either spend a lot of time practicing it or just stick to things that you know. Don't try anything new. If other people offer to help or ask what they can do to help you, say yes, unless there's truly nothing to be done. And I don't mean nothing to be done by somebody who's not you. It can be really uncomfortable for your guests when they offer to help because they see that you're working so hard and they want to make things easier for you if you just tell them no and then continue being busy. They're there to spend time with you too. And if that means helping you is spending time with you, then that's a really good option for them. A lot of times if you tell them no, they can also feel bad. I know that I feel really bad when I offer to help and people tell me no, there's nothing you can do, and then they continue being busy while I'm just sitting there. I would much rather help and get all hands in and get you to where you can relax faster too. Try to be gracious when people offer to help you and just think of something that they can do. Adorn yourself and your home. If you have specific Thanksgiving decorations that you'd like to put up, make sure they're all up the week beforehand so that you don't have to worry about it the week up. Prepare as many dishes as possible in the few days before Thanksgiving. Try not to be just slaving over the stove. Again, your guests are there to spend time with you as well. So try to make it really comfortable and so that you can visit with them too. Avoid inviting groups of people who don't get along. Now, if your family is very traditional and everybody comes to Thanksgiving regardless of who's mad at who for the year, that's an exception. But if you have 2 sets of friends who don't get along at all, have some conversations with them. Maybe it's best to invite one year and the other year. We don't need to make things uncomfortable for everybody just because a couple people don't get along. So really think about your guest list and who's going to be the best combination of people for you to invite. Be really organized. So the first thing that you're going to want to organize is sending out your invitations, whether that's written or digital. On those invitations, have an RSVP deadline. We need to know how many people are going to be there so that we can make sure that we take care of everybody. If you're doing potluck style, where you're going to be assigning dishes for people to bring, be really clear and concise about what you want them to bring and give them about 2 weeks in order to plan and prepare that dish. You never know what their schedule looks like or when's going to be best for them to go to the grocery store within their own family. Make sure you sit down and write out your menu, and when you're doing your assignments, take into consideration people's strengths and weaknesses and the things that they enjoy to make and the things that they don't enjoy to make. If you're not sure, you can always reach out and ask.
Hey, I was thinking of having you bring mashed potatoes. How do you feel about that?
Lean into etiquette. The definition of etiquette is making things comfortable for other people. So there's no set standard for what etiquette is anymore, but you want to do your best to try to make sure that all of your guests are equally comfortable. Avoid hot conversation topics, and this means means also helping to manage your guest if they're trying to lean into some hot topics that make others uncomfortable. You can definitely say things like,
I think that for this holiday, we should avoid talking about X, Y, and Z. Or instead of that, how about if we talk about what we're thankful for this year?
try to redirect the conversations. Drop me a comment down below if I forgot anything that you require an absolute necessity to be a good Thanksgiving host. Next, you're gonna want to watch this video on 5 ways you might be disrespecting your partner that you didn't even know about.